Hey guys, and welcome back to RetroNew. This is a second video for today for you. I just want to shoot this to kind of or summarize the last three topics into one thought, as well as address a couple of comments that I've got. These comments were some positive, some negative, but either way, I want to hear about them. We'll address them. Rock on. All right. So, we will start off with topic one. There was a question on it who, let's see, they disagree with the comment of overpriced because we don't know how much companies are paying for these chipsets, especially during the shortage, and of course, it comes down to personal choice too, as what we think it's worth. So, yes and no. If you think it's worth it, it's your money, your wallet. My opinion or anybody else's opinion shouldn't matter. Go for it. So let's put that one to bed. That's all you. Second thing is, yeah, the term overpriced, when you're bringing out, and it's not just a CPU, it's an entire chipset. And this entire chipset, sorry, hearing stuff in the back. The entire chipset cost $100. Not just the CPU, it's the entire chipset. And that was $100 in 2016 in a Chinese made cell phone. That was known to be, the company was ZTE, which had been known to, let's just say, be a knockoff of someone else's stuff. So this chipset isn't worth $100 in 2022, which apparently is when we're going to get the Amico. And by us, I mean the general public, not the people who want to shoot YouTube videos who we know invested in it and doesn't have an objective view in their head. So, do I think? So yeah, I'll just call it like I see it. It's overpriced. If you're charging me something, let's just say 2016. Let's just say right now it's worth $72. $250 is overpriced. If you want to pay for that, that's on you. I would tell anybody that's overpriced. And the way you can gauge that is to take your eyes off the Amico. Take your eyes off that this is something that you love and want. And apply it to something else. Would you pay $250,000 for a Chevy S10? No, that would be overpriced, right? It's because someone wants to do it. That doesn't mean it's not overpriced. So, yeah, the Amico, and just like the Atari VCS, tremendously overpriced. So, and that ties into my first video, which was about collecting in 2021. A lot of this stuff is you're paying for feelings. You're not paying for the actual game. None of these games are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. None of these games are worth tens of thousands of dollars. I think as things continue to move digital, it's only going to take Nintendo and Sega and all these other companies to come out with, and I think you're starting to see that with the Switch, but if they make it more widely available, so like if you can play NES games on PlayStation and Xbox as well, or and just Nintendo just had their own classic subscription-based service that they made available to everyone, and everybody, Activision, Capcom, all these people did the same thing. I think that would be so much better option than collecting this physical stuff, because it does take a lot of room. And it's taking a lot of money that it really, here in a long time, it really is, if you're not in it for the love of the game or for your own nostalgia or for your own enjoyment, you're really making a very short-term investment, and you need to sell now. Because in 20 years, a lot of this crap just ain't going to be worth anything. I've seen it too much in records, comic books, baseball cards, a lot of baseball cards shops. Some are still around, but a lot went out. I saw a video here recently of a YouTuber by the name of Metal Jesus. Love that guy's video. But he went across country to video gaming stores. I bet you if you wait 10 years, most of those video gaming stores that he's going to now aren't there anymore. And it was like that with baseball and comic book shops. A lot of the stuff that was there 10 years ago, they're no longer around, because you start to see a lot of the same games. You start to see a lot of these things that people are calling rare aren't rare at all. You're starting to see a lot of these games that, well, why is this $400? Well, because it's rare. Yeah, but I just went through, 28 states and stopped at, 200 stores, and every one of them had the same game. What does that tell you? And that happened in the comic book world so much, where they try to market something as rare, and it was just a big lie. There was nothing rare about it. Everybody had a copy of this damn thing. So, and video games is going through that now. Again, this phenomenon is relatively new. Again, it's not as big as the antiques market. And it needs to learn its lesson going forward. Right now, it's just the Wild West. People are just throwing numbers around that they really have no clue what they're doing. I've even gone through a lot of stores where one game for the same system, I don't know, let's say Ristar for the Genesis, they had 2 copies of it. Both were loose leaf, so it was just the cartridge. Identical, you couldn't tell the difference to it, but this one was priced at $39.99, this one was priced at $89.99. Really? There's a $50 difference? Why? And even the shop owner couldn't tell you, but he didn't change the prices either. So yeah, they're just throwing price tags on things. It's super speculative. It really is a wild guess at this point. So just be careful. What is this game worth to you? Again, going back with the overpriced guy here. Hey, if that's something you want, it's your wallet. But that doesn't mean you're not overpaying for something. All right, so moving on, the Amico. Oh boy, here we go. And this is going to be a common theme. I get a lot of questions about the Amico. I only did one video on it, folks. I'm brand new here on YouTube. Anyway, here we go. Mattel, this is some Worrywart Gaming. Well, how you doing, Worrywart? Enjoy your video as well. Give you a subscribe. So here's his comment. Mattel Electronics presents Space Spartans. Well, I don't know if you're referring to my thumbnail, but that was actually Armored Ambush. It was basically Intellivision's version of combat. Anyway, nice that an older person like myself cannot drink the Kool-Aid and be objective, and not part of the boy band Cloudy Mountain is pulling at. Okay, so maybe I'm misreading that. I remember Cloudy Mountain on I think it was one of the first adventure games on the Intellivision. It looked like the Intellivision logo, right? The running man. He was carrying like a little bow and arrow, and you would shoot things. Yeah, very vaguely remember that game. Definitely wasn't one of my favorites. At E3, I did see a little bit of it. I don't know if it was like 15, 20 seconds, something like that. But it was top down, and it was in a dungeon, and it featured like 3 players. It had a lot of lighting effects. I think it looked nice. I didn't think it was Cloudy Mountain though. It didn't look like you were climbing a mountain at all. It looks like you were in a dungeon. So I didn't, Yeah, again, it's one of those games I would have to play. Not impressed. And as far as not drinking the Kool-Aid, again, I would don't take this as there's nothing that on the Amico that I don't like. There are things I do like on it, but there are things I don't like. I don't like the whole RFID because that's very insecure. And if you go to the Atari age now, that's what they're talking about, but it's sort of swept under the rug. It's like, oh yeah, this is a problem. But when Tommy Tallarico, who's a member, jumps in, they totally talk about something else. They're not saying, hey Tommy, I can take, if this ever hits Best Buy or Walmart, I can take out my phone, copy all those codes for every copy on the shelf and either sell those online or redeem them myself, and all those copies that people unsuspecting are going to buy, their copy's not going to work. So you're going to get a whole lot of returns. Well, what happens when Walmart or Best Buy has a brand new product and suddenly everything they sell of it is being returned? They're going to drop the product. So yeah, that definitely needs to be addressed, and not, oh well, never mind, let's go talk about the games. No. Let's do something about this, will we, Tommy? And again, I'm objective because I look at every company this way. I do not pre-order anything. Once things have become download codes or security keys, I like to call them, because that's all it's doing. It's unlocking a paywall. There might be some assets on a disk, but for the most part, the game isn't there. So once companies start doing this, and it's the same with the Amico card, right? You just scan it, and it's going to unlock a paywall on some server to where it's going to transfer that game to your console. So I'm just not a big fan of that, and I don't think most modern gamers are. And if you're a classic gamer, I think it really should piss you off. But but I mean, it's a reality of today's world. Games are getting bigger that you can't put them on a Blu-ray, and an SD card of the size of the games that they're making the cost of that's going to be so huge, not only to produce, but for you to buy it, the end user. It's just not good business. So having it on a server is a solution. And again, I can go on about game preservation, and that's where digital is really going to shine over physical. Of course, you're not going to get that fuzzy feeling that I personally enjoy of holding the cartridge, putting it into the console, and just jamming. But this stuff's going to go away at some point. Nothing's forever, and no matter how much we love it, disc rot is a thing. I had a NES card, slipped it in the NES, wouldn't load. Put it in the Retron, ROM wouldn't dump. put it in a separate NES. Nothing. So, you know, these cartridges can fail too. It's not, this is not a new phenomenon. You know, as we get older, we start to fail. So yeah, to think that all this plastic is going to somehow survive hundreds of years are going to be valued by generations ahead is just asinine to me. But yeah, Worry Wart, thanks for watching the channel. But yeah, don't ever drink the Kool-Aid for anything. You know, the best way to be is to be objective. Everything has positives and everything has negatives. And running and sweeping the negatives under the rug only means you're going to trip over them later. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the negatives and positives. All right, comment number 3. Here we go. I'm just a fence sitter trying to appease both sides. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Being objective means being in the middle. I don't want anybody to fail. I don't want Intellivision to fail at all. I don't know what their measure of success is. I very much doubt it. They have to be like Xbox or PlayStation and have to sell 40 to 80 million consoles to be successful. But I do believe that their target is very, very niche. And I would be very surprised if these things sold 500,000 units. I'd be surprised if it sold 250,000 units. But again, I don't know what the measure of success is. I wish them the best. I don't wish them to fail. Again, it's just, I think you see a lot of the drama, and I don't know if that's where this is leading to. YouTube and drama are synonymous. I don't care what the subject is. I don't care what your subscriber count is. You can have Review Tech USA. He's been in this game for a long time, and he gets into the drama. I necessarily don't want to go there. I know it's probably going to happen at some point here on YouTube. I don't think there's just anything about this system worth that much. If, you know, I think a lot of this drama is coming from people who just ran out of things to say or do about it, but they keep shooting the videos because of the views or what have you. And so what happens when you run out of things to say? But you still have to, or feel like you have to throw it around because of the views. So, you know, I guess if they moved on to something different, and I'll go ahead and mention a name here, the Atari Creep. I've watched his videos. Chris, if you're watching, I think you're awesome. I know you can do more than just Amico, and you have done more than just Amico. But I think you got to realize some people haven't, and they don't have that ability to just take things in stride or ignore things and move on. So what they're going to do is cause the drama to get those views, and it's not, the drama isn't because this is something that was done to me. The drama is, ooh, we're of the Amico family, and this is going to draw views. Very pathetic on in my thoughts. I hope that's not what's happening, but that's kind of what I see what's happening with Geek Getaway and Gen X Gamer. Just ignore it and move on. Not everything has to be responded to. Not everything has to be addressed. again, because some of it is just bait to get that drama going. I think if you're a collector, if you're a classic gamer, if you're a Gen X gamer, I think you would have other things you can shoot videos on. Just saying. I think if you guys were close, or if you guys were a community, you could just DM each other and say, "Hey, man, that wasn't cool," and sort of hash it out that way. But again, YouTube views. Moving on. Number 2. Yeah, you see a lot of pausing and silence in my podcast and views. Again, I'm not used to being in front of a microphone or the camera. I do have some anxiety there. But I want to prove to my son that you can do anything and just work, even if you're not good at something. If you just keep working at it, you can eventually get good. But you just can't shy away from it. So I'm hoping Blue Jake will see this and he'll start getting more into it and knowing more. This is partially his idea. He's doing the Twitch. Yeah, he loves Twitch. So Blue Jake 9, go watch him. Yeah, and bust his balls. Go ahead and say, "Hey, man, why don't you shoot a video for us?" Your old man, he's sort of he sort of spaces out. No, he's not entertaining. But yeah, and maybe what I might do a let's play on this channel. We'll see. Maybe we'll all get together and do a jam session of something retro and something new. How about that? I don't know. Leave a comment down if you want to see a particular game being played. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to shoot this video to kind of address certain things. Thanks for the comments. Keep them coming. Negative, positive, whatever. Either way, like, dislike, subscribe, and I will wish you the best of goodbyes.